Hello. Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. I'm Barrels, your local marigold who lost her tail because I prayed to the sky god so much and the lake got mad at me, shed off my scales as I go to the shore every fucking day as I pray. Oh fuck, my model fucked up. Anyway, welcome to the stream everyone. Today we'll be learning how to draw hands. Yes! We're finally gonna learn how to draw motherfucking hands. Okay, so for today, what we have prepared, first is we'll be going through these pages of a book, from a book that I have. This book is called Morpho, Anatomy for Artists by Michael Loricelia. I hope I pronounced that right. Yeah, we'll just be going through these and like make some notes and probably draw over them as well, or try to break down the basic shapes and forms from these images. After that, we'll be doing or we'll be watching some videos. We'll be watching some videos involving like the physical structure, the bones and shit, like anatomically how to draw hands. Like we will be looking at muscles and some key bones, how to simplify them and how to apply them into hands. And then after that, we'll be learning how to draw like hands from imagination. So we have like Proko, we have Sinix, we have Ethan Baker. Ethan Baker's video will be the last one which we'll be watching. This one will be like how to draw hands quickly. You know, how to like draw hands when you're not supposed to be like when the hands aren't the main focal point of an art piece. And then after watching videos and while taking notes, making probably some scribbles while the videos play, we will be doing an exercise where we'll be simplifying the forms like over the pictures. We're gonna be like simplifying the forms over references of hands. After that, we'll be doing speed drawing of hands. We'll be using line of action to speed draw hands in like 5 minutes, and then 2 minutes, and then maybe like even 1 minute or 60 minutes. That's 1 minute still. I think like I don't know if they have like 30 seconds or 1 minute, but yeah. And after speed drawing hands, we'll be practicing drawing hands from imagination, and then we'll be ending our stream there. So yeah, I hope you guys are excited as excited as I am to finally do this stream. This will be the first of my learning art streams. After this, I'm looking forward to maybe like drawing arms or like something like feet. But we'll see. Okay, so let's go over I actually took these photos from like my book. I bought this book within this year, so like it's Morpho. It's full of like pictures like these, like a bunch of anatomical sketches and shit. Is this a page? This is the first page actually. It's like I have like multiple pages. Okay, so this is page 1. So as you can see, they have like notes here. Wait, I'll actually get the book. Wait, BRB. I'll get the book from the cabinet so I can like remember what these are supposed to be. Okay. Can you hear that? That's me flipping the book. Okay, I think this was like at page. Oh no, I forgot. Which page is it? I have like, okay, there we go. Okay, so we have the guide here for the abbreviations. Hum is our humerus. It's located in our arm. Then we have the ul, this one, which is the ulna. These are like bones on our forearm. Then we have the rad, which is the radius here. This one. As you can see, they do twist. So if you twist your arm, you're also twisting your bones. They're never like they never like stay, you know, like they're, you know how if you draw them, they look like, wait, I was like trying to draw on my tablet, but like my book was on top of my tablet, so like this. So the bones look like this, right? Something like that. And then you have the hands here. They do like twist, like here. So it doesn't like just like stay parallel and shit. I mean, they still are parallel, but they do twist. Anyway, we're getting like we're getting sidetracked. And this is our our carpals, part of our hand. This is, I think this is the one around, this is the one on the wrist. And then we have the metacarpals, this one. Oh wait, the metacarpals. Our metacarpals, if I remember correctly, these are our palms. You can like, if you have thin hands, or like, yeah, I guess thin hands, or like if you don't have much fat. I have like a lot of fat, so you can't really like see my metacarpals. But if you have like less fat, it's easier for you to see the like the metacarpals indents or protrusions and shit. And then we have, of course, the phalanges, which are our finger bones. So that's it. At least we know now. Carpals, metacarpals, phalanges, radius, ulna, and our humerus, palm. Okay, so we're gonna read. The heads of the metacarpals, are protected on the palm side by a pillow of fat that creates a space between the underside and the top of the hand. So we have this. So for example, these are your, I don't know if you guys can see it that much if I use white. So I'm gonna like use a nice blue. So for example, we have the bones. This, for example, are metacarpals. Am I drawing it right? So this, for example, are our metacarpals. They are protected on the palm side. So this is the palm side by a pillow of fat. So we make some fatsies. Pillow of fat. That creates a space between the underside and top of the hand. This space takes the shape of an intermediate plane between the fingers and explains the webbing or digital junctures between the phalanges. Oh, like this. This, like, they're talking about... Okay. Talking about this... Ah, shoot! Like this. See this? This is our webbing. This is what makes our chunky hands, or chunky palms at least. So, see this? This is fat, more fat, more fat, more fat. This is what I'm telling you. If you have like thin hands, if you check your hands, right, you can see the bones here. Our, what do you call it again? The metacarpals. So yeah, check your bones. And then we have the carpals here. Look at how they draw it though. Look at how they draw the hands. They just like make a plane of fat. For example, this is a fat. And then they draw these. These are like this part. The bump where our metacarpals and phalanges meet. So they do it like this. Later you'll be seeing, because they have like different ways of how they draw hands, or how they make it easier. So for example, they have this, and then they draw this, and then draw this again. Look at how I draw hands. This is why we need to learn how to draw hands, because the way I draw hands is like a mess. It's a fucking mess. Anyway, so yeah, they draw hands like this. They break it for like for the phalanges, each part of the phalanges. There. Okay, let's move on to the next page. Oop. Okay, so this one, as you can see, we are now looking at the fats, the meat of our palm, and how it looks like, how we can like implement this form in our drawings, or like we need to think in 3D. So like, because usually if you're making a hand, right, because especially like in those very simplified anime, they draw hands like they don't put this, or like they don't draw the hand lines unless it's like a close-up shot. But I think that's more of an animation thing. So like here you could see that there's fat at the top side, and then here at the palm side, and then this one like goes through here. There. So thumb, palm side, and then the pinky side. So we're gonna read it. The lines of the hand. So this is pertaining to figure 1. This is figure 1 here. The lines of the hand correspond to the folds of the thumb and the fingers. So this is where our thumbs would be. So if we were like going to draw a hand over this, just say we draw like this. This is our thumb. I'm not really good at drawing thumbs, so excuse me. Excuse my way of drawing thumbs. So this is the thumb. Then we have this fat here. We draw it here. Then you have to like put some webbing. So as you can see here, we have some webbing from the fat, and then we get like hands. The way I draw hands is like too big. The way I draw the fingers are too big, but we gotta make it smaller. Whoop. That. Then this is like to imply like this line, like instead of just like doing this, since we're like kind of looking from the side, you can imply that that perspective by putting the webbing over instead of just like, so like putting the webbing over instead of just doing something like this. So whoop, go there, go there. Of course the middle finger needs to be like, you know, longer than the others. Okay, figure 2. Where's our figure 2? This is our figure 2. So this is comparing the meat of the hands to the meat of the feet. Figure 2, the likeness between the hand and the foot. So like in the foot, we don't have this part anymore. Like have this part anymore. Like the fatty meaty part below our thumbs are gone, but we still have this, and then our 5 toes. figure 3. This is figure 3. The palm is entirely muscular at the base of the thumb. So this one. Its outside edge starting as muscle at the carpal bone. So from here, from this part, this is our carpal bone. So this is muscle, this is muscle, this is muscle, this is muscle, and they all like they all start from the carpal. If I'm like getting this correctly, they're all starting from the carpal bone. Becomes fatty under the heads of the metacarpals. So the heads of the metacarpals are these guys. So as you can see, they go thin. Like it looks like they're getting stretched. You know when you like stretch like some sort of gum or like clay, they go thinner as you stretch it. So just imagine, you imagine the metacarpal as like for example a clay, and then you stretch it out and it looks like this. So it gets thinner and thinner. And then the head here, that's where you place your meat, your muscular meat. And it goes here to the carpals, and then we have here the base of our thumb. So more meat. So those are the forms we need to remember. So one of the forms that we need to remember, the base of the thumb and the meat. And then this is our carpal. And then the webbing like this. Okay, now to our last page before we go forward to the videos where Proko would explain shit. We'll be like following through, drawing some notes and shit, writing stuff that we need to remember. Okay, so we have our third page. Okay, so we look at figure number 1. Where's our figure number 1? This is our figure number 1. Intermediate beveled plane between the fingers. This one? This one, right? So it's a dotted line. What's bevel? What's the meaning of beveled? I actually don't know that. Let me search it up first. Having a sloping edge rather than a squared one. Oh, okay. So like we remember how our meat looks like this. If we're gonna do it side view, like it looks like so we have the metacarpals. So sorry, I'm not like used or good at drawing bones. So this is, for example, a metacarpal, and this, for example, is another metacarpal that like represents our thumb. So there's webbing here, right? Okay, let's like use a different color. There's webbing here, and this one, instead of just like cutting here, the meat like forms a beveled plane. See this one, a beveled plane. So it just goes like that. This one needs to be chunkier, if we're like looking under the palm. Oops. Like this. This needs to have like a bit more fat. Like that. This is the bevel plane before like we draw the fingers. So this is what I'm saying by like so it'll look like this. There's like the webbing here. Like it's like this. It's not like this. Like the skin is stretched over there. I'm trying my best to explain it, but like there's a reason why I didn't graduate as a teacher. That's why we're gonna learn more. Okay, so figure 2. Fleshy volumes of the... Where's figure 2? Okay, this is our figure 2. Fleshy volumes of the palm. On the thumb side, the flexor muscles comprise the dominant shape. Oh, so this is the flexor muscles. This thing. Flexor muscles. On the other side, the flexors of the little finger melt into the fat, which slides under the heads of the metacarpal. So here, this part. The underside of each phalange is covered in little pills of fat. This is what they were referring to. So if you look at your palm, you'll see that there's like kind of a like small bumps of fat where where the heads of your metacarpals would be. Okay. And 3, diagram of the interosseous muscles. 28. Interosseous muscles, you mean this? Like the kind of webbing from the pointing finger to the thumb. I'm gonna like check if I'm saying the right thing. Inter what? Interosseous. Okay. Interosseous muscle hand. Oh no, it's not it's not just the muscle that's like that constitutes like the webbing here. The interosseous muscles are actually each muscle. So like for example, wait, let me just say get it. So you see this? These are our metacarpals, right? Just pull up the other. The muscles here, like in between each metacarpal, this is what we refer to as the interosseous membrane or muscle or both. Yeah. Doctors, med students, if I'm getting this wrong, I'm so fucking sorry. But yeah, so now at least now we know what it is. Okay, and then oops. Yes, sir. And then figure 4, inflection. The carpal bones are outlined in the contour of the hand. Oh, like if you bend your thing, if you bend your arm like this, you'll be able to see the carpal bones outline. So I'm guessing it's this one, the bumps here. That's your carpal bones. I wouldn't know because like I have a lot of fat on me. So yeah. So BRB, I'm just gonna like open the air conditioner again. Yappy, yappy. Haji Sensei! Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Good, wait. It's nighttime for you, right? It's still early in the night for you. Welcome to the stream. We're learning hands today. So we just finished going through the pages of the book I have. I'm not much help. I'm trying to explain what's in the book, but now we'll be moving on to our video watching and note-taking session. Doing all 7 p.m. out this way, so not too late. Yes, yes. Wait, I think I did. I opened the air conditioner, but I can't feel it. Anyway, so video watching, yes, yes. As I said, we'll be watching like videos from Proko, Sinix Design, and Ethan Baker. We'll be watching Proko's series first. We'll be learning how to draw hand bones, the one that I was referring to, and then we'll be learning how to draw hands, like specifically the muscle anatomy, and then we'll be learning how to draw hands from imagination so like basically we're trying to get our foundations first from Proko, and then after that we'll be learning the how to quickly draw the hands from Sinix Design and then Ethan Baker. Actually, the video the video we have from Ethan Baker is a Fox like shading video of Ethan Baker against like Sinix Design. His videos are almost always like that, but yeah, you'll see what I mean later on. So we'll be learning how to draw hands. Let me like turn off our what do you call this, our lo-fi music first, and then we'll be getting this thing out. Let me just show you guys the video there. As you can see, it's on my top. Wait, is this left or right? Besides, it's on top of me, so you guys can follow me while I also take notes. I'll be watching the video in like not in normal speed. We'll be watching it in 1.5. Okay, let's go. Come watch with me.
Hey Skelly, can you give me a hand with something?
It's so fast. I usually okay. I wanna like explain this. I usually do really watch educational videos at a higher speed because it helps me understand it faster, or like it helps retain my attention span more. For real. Okay, so let's go. Maybe I should skip the skip thingy. Okay.
Hey, my name is Stan Prokopenko. Welcome to Proko.
Can you guys hear it? Or is it too loud? Or
it's important to understand the bones if you want your drawings to be anatomically solid and if you ever want to invent. This is especially true with the hands. Science tells us that hands are like 90% bone. Get this part right and the rest is easy. Thank you, science.
No problem.
Let's start with proportion. The length of the whole hand is about equal to the length of the face. Within the hand...
Okay. So we're gonna write that down. It's really like a learning, you know. It's a learning session, so... Wait, why is my thing so thick? Okay. So we'll write that down. Wait. So length of the hand is like almost equal to length of the face. So like it's not particularly a yaoi hand if the hand is like as big as the face. If you guys don't know what yaoi hands are, they are like comically big ass hands that you might see in like you know, yaoi boy shit MLM shit. Okay, let's continue.
There are 3 important divisions: the wrist, palm, and fingers. Or to use the bone terms, the carpus, metacarpus, and phalanges.
Okay.
You can quickly and accurately find these proportions with the half method. Take the distance.
Okay, so we have our... Why is the color different? Okay. We have our... This. Oh, shoot. We have our carpal. Our carpal or our wrist. We have our... Wait, am I drawing it right? So this is our... It looks like shit. But like, I'm just like doing quick iterations of the bones here. This is our palm. Our metacarpals. This is what we were like trying to look at earlier. Metacarpals or our palm. And then our fingers or our phalanges. So this is like 1. I'm just gonna make it simpler forms. So we have 1, 2, 3. Then we have another there. They're like a really tiny bone up there. Okay. I think my phalanges are too short. Gonna make it a bit longer. You know what? It's bugging me if it just looks like a rectangle, so we're gonna try to make it a more organic shape. Then you have another one. Then you have the tip of the phalanges. We're not doing the thumb yet. Okay. This is a very ugly ass hand. Then we have this. I'm not gonna be drawing the carpal bone properly yet, because the point of the video is, you know, we're gonna watch the video and then we're gonna learn how to properly draw the bounds. It's too big. Yeah, it should be like, should be around there, and then draw the phalanges. So these are metacarpals, and then these are our phalanges. Phalanges, or our fingers. Wait, I need my brace actually, because it's starting to hurt. My hand is starting to hurt. Wait, BRB. I'm gonna like look for it first. Wait, it's just like here at the top bunk. Okay, let me wear my brace. Because if I don't wear my brace, I tend to like draw from my wrist. And if you draw from your wrist, you'll get cramps. Your hands will fucking hurt. I swear to God. Okay. Do you guys want to watch it slowly, or are you okay with me watching it fast? You know what? I think you guys might not understand it if it's like too fast. You might not be able to catch up. Okay. So just like listen to it. Let me change the settings to normal again. Then alright. Ah, what? Oh no, I accidentally put it on starting soon. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's go.
Distance from the wrist to the end of the middle finger and divide it in half.
What
Or
did
to
you
use
say?
the bone terms, the carpus, metacarpus, and phalanges. We can quickly and accurately find these proportions with the half method. Take the distance from the wrist to the end of the middle finger and divide it in half. This marks the end of the metacarpals at the knuckles. To find the 3 finger joints, divide it in half again and again. You can divide that last unit in half again to find the fingernail.
Did you get that? So the half method is basically, so we have this hand. So it starts from the carpals, ends here. Like, you know what? I can just like shift there. And we divide it in half. And this would be our palm. So like that. And then here we will be dividing it again. Oop. This will be our like phalanges. I'm not sure if they have like specific names for the bones, but like this is how you divide it. So that's the half method. You divide the hand by half, you'll get the palm and the fingers. Then you divide the fingers in half, then you'll get your first division of the phalanges. Then you'll divide the top one and to half again, and then you will get the did I get it right? One, so like 1, 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. So, okay, so we have the length of the hand. Divide it into half, you get the palm and the fingers. Then you divide this into half, and then divide it into half again. So you have like this division, and wait, I think it's so divide it into half and divide it into half again. Then it looks like this. You guys get it? Like, do you guys get this? It's like this is the palm, then phalanges, and then another like tiny phalanges here. That's the half method. Okay, let's continue the video.
The knuckles don't line up horizontally, so draw the rest of the fingers a little bit shorter than you drew the middle finger. Find the knuckles with curved rhythms. The webbing of the palm extends beyond the knuckle, about halfway to the first joint.
Okay, let's write that down. Webbing of the palm extends beyond first joint. So, for example, you have this one here. Let's like add a color here. So let's just assume this is a proportionate hand. These are like, it's supposed to look like this. The joints and shit. So the webbing of the palm, we're gonna like add another layer here. Let's make it a bit pinkish. The webbing of the palm, so this is our first joint, like this here is our first joint. Where like the metacarpal, the metacarpals and the phalanges would meet. The webbing extends beyond the first joint, so like that. Oh wait, it extends beyond the first joint, so go like around like this. this, this, this. Not here, not here. Goes up a bit. This is a fucked up hand, I swear to God. This is not like a good hand. But we're just trying to assume that this is a good hand.
So, fingers appear longer when looking at the back of the hand and shorter when looking at the palm. Keep that in mind when you're measuring. The halves method is based on the length of the bone, not the skin. With that said,
okay. So the halves. Did I take out the recording of this already? I can take out the time lapse. Okay, so this method works on the bone. Halves method. Halves method. This is how we study. It takes a long time for me, like, get things when I'm trying to study. So halves method is based on length of the bone. As you can see, my handwriting is straight. Not length of the skin. We need to remember that because of this statement here, like the webbing of the palm extends beyond the first joint. So like if you look at your hand, it will feel like your palm is like so much more like longer than your fingers. But that's because of like the additional muscles from like beyond your first joint. Okay, let's move on.
let's jump right into the wrist.
It's okay, we're gonna do the wrist now.
Carpals. There are 8 wrist bones, and each one is completely irregular.
Oh my god.
Nope, they're not easy. But they're not important either.
Carpal bones, not important, let's
Individual
go!
carpal bones are basically never visible, even when the wrist is fully flexed, so you don't need to study each one.
Oh my god, thank god. We don't need to fucking study
Instead,
each one.
let's study the big form.
Oh my god.
From above, the wrist bones have a half circle shape.
Okay, so
They pop right into the concave socket of the radius. Together, the wrist bones form a tunnel, hollow on the palm side, which tendons and nerves pass through to get to the fingers. This is the carpal tunnel of carpal tunnel syndrome.
The what?
Remember to rest and form a tunnel, hollow on the palm side, which tendons and nerves pass through to get to the fingers. This is the carpal tunnel of carpal tunnel syndrome. Remember to rest and stretch, everybody. Metacarpals. Metacarpus, meaning beyond the wrist, refers to the bones of the palm. Their overall length and width makes a square shape. The palm has a distinct top, bottom, and side planes. So think of the metacarpus as a box, plus a triangle for the metacarpal of the thumb. The tunnel shape we saw at the wrist echoes throughout the whole hand. Here the palm is hollow, and the highest point of the tunnel is the middle finger. This is especially visible when you're drawing a fist. The middle finger knuckle sticks out the most lengthwise too. No. The metacarpals and phalanges use roughly
He was about
the
to give
same
us the
design.
finger.
The shaft can be simplified into a cylinder or box form that tapers to be thinner towards the fingertips.
Oh, this is actually a nice diagram. So it looks like... So we get this. And then you have this. Oh shoot. So you have like... Oh. So you have a ball here. Then ball here. Then another like ball here. So it can get smaller. And then shook. Shook, 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 shook. I'm just like copying this diagram because it looks like something that we could use for later. You know, so this curve here that goes like this. Boop. Let's erase this part. Then curve here, straight line, curve again. Oop, there we go. And then so this is how, like, this is like the simplified forms of the bone from this of your like handles from the side. Okay. See, can you see the half now? Like half, half, and then half. Okay. So, we write that down. This is the metacarpal phalanx. Phalanx again. Oh my god, the way I write phalanx. Okay. Next.
It's straight along the top, but concave along the bottom. The far end has a convex bump that fits into the concavity of the next bone. The metacarpals can be easily felt and seen on the back of your hand, especially at the knuckles. The form of the knuckles is a wide box with a ball at the joint.
Okay, so the form of the knuckles. Okay, wait, let me write that down first. Metacarpals. Okay, metacarpals are more visible when you make like a fist. When you make a fist, so then we're gonna like draw the diagram here. It looks like this. Sorry if my perspective is like a bit off, but like, doop. So it's like a wheel that's like tapered to this like cylinder. So this is this is your metacarpal.
The top plane between the ball and box
This is what your
is a
knuckles would
trapezoid.
be.
The phalanges. Each finger has 3 sections called phalanges, connected by
Phalanges.
hinge joints. The thumb is different. It only has 2 phalanges past the metacarpal.
Oh, it only has
But
two,
I prefer
so I
to
fucked
think of
this
the
up.
metacarpal of the thumb as its 3rd phalanx. As far as joints and functionality, it's more similar to the phalanges of the fingers than the metacarpals of the fingers. As I said, technically the thumb has only 2 phalanges, but because its metacarpal is extra flexible, it has great range of motion. The fingers don't extend from the palm in straight parallel lines, but actually curve towards the middle finger. It's subtle, but it's there.
So phalanges curve toward the middle finger. Let's write that. These are like these notes may look like nothing right now, but these are like important things to like remember, especially when you have to draw hands in certain poses or in certain motions. So that like for example like what they said, when you're forming a fist, the metacarpals would be more visible. So that's why you need to know how the metacarpals would look like, right? Wait, what was the thing he said about phalanges again? Oh no, I forgot about it. Let me repeat.
As I said, technically the thumb has only 2 phalanges, but because its metacarpal is extra flexible, it has
Oh, now I remember. So this one naman, it's like phalanges curve towards. It's just like a subtle detail. Curve towards the middle finger. So if you like, for example, have your hand relaxed, you would then like remember to like draw the hands like draw the fingers something like curving towards the middle finger, stuff like that.
Great range of motion. The fingers don't extend from the palm in straight parallel lines, but actually curve towards the middle finger. It's subtle, but it's there. The form of the phalanges follows the same pattern we saw with the metacarpals. Each section is boxy with a slight arc at the bottom. The fingertips taper off, ending with a flat plane. When sketching fingers, you can use a sphere to place the joints and a cylinder to connect them. Think of the palm and wrist as boxes. We'll talk about the surface forms of the hands in more detail in a future lesson. For now, let's focus on this basic wireframe. If you'd like to see a detailed narrated demonstration of me drawing dynamic hand bones, check out the premium version of this lesson.
Draw the carpal.
Assignment.
Draw the metacarpal.
Your assignment is to simplify the hand bones into their basic forms. Draw from life using your own hands, or draw from the 3D models of the hand bones I provided you. Proko people, you'll find still images of the hand bones in the description under the video. Premium Proko people, on your Premium Proko dashboard, you have 3D models of 4 dynamic hand bone poses that you can draw from any angle. You might even try drawing the same hand from multiple angles. And if you really want to challenge yourself, look at the model from one angle, but draw it from a different angle. After you're done drawing, you can rotate the camera to match your drawing angle to check your accuracy. This exercise will help develop your ability to invent hands from imagination.
Oh my god.
So we have a premium section for students that want to learn more. The premium section has extended lessons with more information about the topic. It also has additional drawing demonstrations. If you do the assignments for each lesson, these demonstrations serve as the multiple angles. Premium Proko people, on your Premium Proko dashboard, you have 3D models of 4 dynamic hand.
I'm gonna go get the assignment images just so we have like, oh wait, no. Wait, downloads. Can we get the downloads already? Hand bone assignment images. Okay. Oh no, we have to log in to download the free content. Okay, fine. I'll sign up. But like, I'm not getting the premium version. I'm too fucking poor for that. Something went wrong. Well, what went wrong? Let's try and sign up. No. I'll just sign up with my email. Sorry, I'm gonna go get the pictures just so that we have, you know, more references for the simplifying over ref portion of our study today. Okay. So interest, anatomy, animals and creatures, animation, character design, composition, comics, digital drawing, environments, figure, fundamentals, illustration, perspective, portraits, sketching, storytelling, sequential. Okay. Follow. Should I like follow people? Fine, I'll follow. Oop. Just like following a bunch of people from their thing now. Okay. Start learning. Oh, it's a confirming. Okay, I will now confirm my email. Confirm email. Yes. Alright. Do I get to download the thing now? I just need images. I just need images. Where's the downloads? Okay, it's like show in folder. I'ma get the images and then put it in our Clip Studio Paint. Extract all. I'll just like play some background music for y'all so you don't get bored. Okay, I'm extracting the down. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna get these images. I'm gonna pull up Clip Studio Paint. I'm gonna put this. Boop. Yeah. Where did I put it? Oh no! Like Clip Studio Paint fucked up. Okay. So I'm gonna put these on our reference layer because we have like a reference layer. These notes I'm gonna put hand bones. Put it here in one folder, right? We have these. These are our is it too big? I think it's too big. But whatever. Actually, we can just like do something like just screenshot it. And then I'll put it over here. Oh no. You can hear the sound of my computer. Oh my god, it's the thing. It's the Spider-Man hand. Okay, there we go. Oh my god, I love this pose. Peace sign, my beloved. There we go. Take this. Put it here. Then have another hand over here. Anyway, these are still from Proko, like Proko. Like these images are still from Proko. If you wanna be able to get the images as well, or if you wanna watch the video that I just watched, I'll be linking it here in the chat. But I will also be linking it later in like my stream ending tweet. So yeah, you guys don't have to worry about looking for these videos. I will be linking them. Or if you want to like check out the whole playlist I have, this is actually a whole YouTube playlist I have where it's full of tutorials and shit of like random ass things, which includes drawing, even like haircuts, like doing haircuts or gardening. You can check out this playlist. Here's the link. The playlist is called Knowledge Dump because I'm just like dumping knowledge in there. Okay, next video is how to draw hands, like the muscle anatomy of the hand. Let's go. It's taking a while to load.
Palm side of the thumb is the biggest. They're like the Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear.
Not the bears again.
But what about fingers?
Wait.
Mehmet asked,
Okay.
hands. My previous hand lesson explained the bones. Even if you're not interested in drawing skeletons,
No.
the bones determine the proportions and range of motion. For the hand in particular, a lot of the forms of the bones are visible on the surface, so you gotta know them. If you didn't watch that lesson, It's there waiting for you. If you watched the lesson but you didn't do the assignment,
I didn't do the assignment. I'm so sorry, Proko. I'm so sorry.
We've already covered bones. In the
Okay.
next few lessons, we'll cover everything else about hands. We're gonna do it in 4 parts. Part
Alright.
1 is about the muscles of the hand and
Okay.
how they should inform your drawings. Then I'll teach you how to draw the surface details of the hand, like fingernails, skin folds, and fat
I'm
patterns.
actually scared of that
In
part.
part 3, I'll show you a drawing process for drawing hands from reference or from your imagination. And part 4 will be a series of step-by-step drawing demos. It's gonna be good. If you've been wanting to get better at drawing hands, clear your schedule and tell your friends.
It's gonna take a while.
So, welcome to part 1.
to be able to learn
muscles
how to
of the
draw
hand.
hands. Okay,
This
muscles.
is the most boring.
You want me?
Most of the muscles
Wait.
that control the hand are located in the forearm. Remember those? They're called the extrinsic muscles of the hand. It means they're
Okay.
located on the exterior and they send long tendons to control the hand. Now we'll study the intrinsic muscles of the hand, the ones located in the hand itself. These muscles can be grouped into 3 teardrops. The thumb gets 2 teardrops and the pinky gets 1 on the palm side. Here,
Okay, so had 2 teardrops. Wait, let me just merge the layers of my practice thing later. There. Okay, so we have 2 teardrops. That's the one that we were like trying to learn earlier. Like the, what do you call this? This one. Where is it? The morpho one. It's these, this one, and this one.
and here.
Oh,
The teardrop shapes are wider at the wrist
This one and this one.
taper towards the fingers. The one on the palm side of the thumb is the biggest.
The flexor
They're like the
muscle.
Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear.
Okay.
Not the bears again.
But what about fingers? Mehmet asked,
The
do
muscles.
we have just fat at fingers, or is there anything else except tendons? You're right. The fingers are made up of bones, tendons, and fat. No
Okay.
muscle fibers in the fingers. All muscle bellies end before the metacarpal phalangeal joint. Here. That goes for the thumb too. Remember, the thumb only has 2 phalanges. As you can tell
Two
from the
phalanges.
shape, the thumb
Always
is different
remember.
from the others.
2
There are a
phalanges.
lot of muscles surrounding the thumb, and it has a much larger range of motion. Let's start with the thenar eminence.
What the fuck is a thenar
That's
eminence?
a fancy word for the thumb mass on the palm side. It's the biggest and most important muscle mass on the
This
palm.
one? This is the thenar
It
eminence?
emerges from the wrist and attaches
Okay, let
along
me
the
just
thumb
like
bone.
right over that.
It stretches out when you stick out your thumb, but even then you can see how thick it is. It's even more obvious when the thumb is brought towards the palm and all the muscles bunch up into a big mass around the base.
What does
Papa Bear
what does
has a
spelled
fat
again?
pot belly. You can think
So
of
this
it
is the
like
Papa
a
Bear.
cone or a chicken drumstick on the
Papa
thumb
Bear.
metacarpal. It changes shape as the thumb moves, which makes it a little tricky, but as long as you know its origin and insertion, you know the area it fits into.
Okay.
To fully understand its form, you gotta know the layering of the muscles. I'll explain all the individual hand muscles in depth in the premium version of this lesson.
Not the premium version.
Next up, the pinky muscle mass, technically called the hypothenar eminence. This one
This
is long
one.
and narrow, not quite as thick or wide as the thumb mass.
This one.
It may look like these 2 masses meet in the middle of the palm, but the muscle fibers actually stop a little
pinky
short
teardrop.
with a tendinous gap between.
Okay.
It's the fat sitting on top that blends them together. Don't go overboard with the hard edge between them, or you'll end up with hand butts.
Not hand
In general,
butts.
it's better to shade it with tone than mark it with a black outline.
Okay.
Unless the palm is squeezed together, bringing Papa Bear and Mama Bear in for a hug.
So this is Mama Bear.
In that case, hand butts are totally acceptable. The pinky mass starts at the base of the hand.
So
It
from the
actually
carpal.
travels over the side of the hand and attaches to the outside of the pinky metacarpal.
Oh, wait. So it
It
goes
makes
like
this mass.
this.
This is why the ulnar side of your hand is kind of squishy when you poke it, while the radial side is hard and bony. This whole pinky mass
There.
has a weird muscle on top of it that's kind of unique. It runs perpendicular to the other muscles of the pinky. This muscle is called the palmaris brevis.
What's the palmaris
Sound
brevis?
familiar?
What's it do?
There was that palmaris longus muscle we learned in the forearms lesson that had that wide palmar aponeurosis at the end of it. Well, the palmaris brevis originates on this palmar aponeurosis.
Wait,
It
just
inserts
ignore
on the
that.
skin along the pinky border of the palm. Okay, interesting. So what does this muscle do? It pulls the skin inward and helps to improve grip.
Okay.
Go ahead and try it. Squeeze your
I'm
hand
trying
together
to
like
squeeze
you're
my hand
gripping
right
something.
now. Ugh.
Notice that interesting indent it creates along the side of the hand.
Bitch, I don't
That's
see
the
no
skin being
indent.
pulled. The skin and the palmar fat bunch up.
I'm too
Under
fat.
the
I
crease,
can't see no
you can
indent.
see that large abductor digitory mini.
Oh no.
I bet you've seen that indent a gazillion times,
No.
but you never really understood it.
I literally did not see. Okay,
you
I think
know.
I'm seeing now something
Final
over here.
teardrop
Okay.
shape is the first dorsal interosseous. It's the baby bear teardrop on the dorsal side of the
Oh,
thumb.
this one.
It creates this egg-shaped bulge between the thumb and index finger
This one.
metacarpals,
This one's
filling
the
that
baby bear.
V-shaped gap between the bones. Since it's between the two bones, the dorsal surfaces of these bones are still subcutaneous. That means you can feel the back of the bones and the soft, squishy muscle between. Go ahead,
Like
find it on yourself.
Squishing my
When the
face.
thumb is out, this muscle mass
Ankle.
is stretched out. Look at the overlap between this muscle on the dorsal ulnar side of the thumb
Okay.
and the muscles and the skin on the palmar side.
Okay,
There's a
what's
lot
up
of
with
depth
it?
to this area. Beginning artists often draw a simple contour and accidentally flatten it out. Instead, focus on the overlaps. Draw overlapping lines so it's clear what's in front and what's behind. It will add depth to your drawings. This is why anatomy is helpful.
Overlap.
Now you know where this mass is coming from, so you can draw it with more context. When the thumb is squeezed in, it pops out as a big round egg form.
Okay, I
It's
do
not
see
as
it
thick
now.
as the palmar thumb
There's
mass.
like a thicker
It's shorter too.
muscle mass
The
when I
dorsal
close
thumb
it.
mass only reaches the metacarpals, while the palmar thumb mass starts way up at the wrist. So you can see in this photo, the dorsal thumb mass ends here at the
Yeah,
metacarpal
yeah.
bone. The palmar thumb mass peaks out down here, much closer to the wrist. Remember, there's a lot of loose skin in this area.
So
When the thumb and index fingers
it's a good thing I have
spread,
like a mirror
the
though,
skin is pulled
because
tight in a
like
straight line
I am
between the
able
knuckles.
to like
As they
look
come
around
together,
my hands and
the
shit.
line loosens into an inward curve.
Just like see.
When they get really close together, the skin gets pinched and bunches outward.
Yeah.
So, those are the muscles of
The
the
bone
hand.
is so wacky,
There's 2 more
goofy.
lessons and a few demonstrations coming soon. So keep your eyes open. And to make sure you don't miss any of these new lessons,
Shall we
subscribe
now?
to the Proko newsletter at proko.com/subscribe.
Okay. So the next video
Here's your
we're
assignment. It's time to get
Should I
your
do the
hands
assignment?
dirty. Your homework is to draw hand quick sketches. Focus
Oh,
on the
I'm gonna
3
be doing
fleshy
that.
masses I
Yeah, I'm
talked
gonna be
about today.
doing that definitely.
Your goal is to
But I'll
create
be
drawings with
doing
good
the
gesture
quick
and
sketches
simple 3D form.
after
Make sure
we
you
try to
use good
simplify
balance
over
of straights and
references.
curves. Identify the superficial bony areas.
So next video we have is drawing hands from imagination. Suanova, hello, welcome to the stream. We're trying to learn how to draw hands. We're watching Proko videos right now.
Hey guys, my name's Stan.
To like get our fundamentals.
So we already learned the bones, we learned the muscles,
Okay.
and we learned the surface details to make your hand drawings realistic.
Okay.
If you missed those lessons, there's links in the description
So
below.
we've learned
In
about
this video, I'll
bones
show you
and
the process that
muscles.
has helped me to draw hands
Now-
accurately
okay, now
from
we're-
imagination.
We're gonna learn
It's also a great process if you're drawing from reference.
how we're gonna like,
I'll be using it in my upcoming
be able to
narrated
break down the
handouts.
hands so it'll be easier for
Half
us
of
to
those
draw
will be
them.
available for free, and the other half will be for my premium Proko people.
I tried when I was little and went dope.
Keep in mind, even though the process is...
I also fucking hate hands, but I want to be better. I want to get better as an artist. And that's why right now we're trying to learn how to draw hands. We need to draw those aesthetically pleasing grabbers, you know? Because one way or another, we're gonna be forced to fucking draw hands in our artist lives. So now is, you know, I mean, any time would be a good time to learn how to draw hands. So yeah, watch it with me.
Itself is quite simple. Drawing hands is never gonna be easy.
Okay, we're gonna like...
There's prerequisites that make it challenging.
We're gonna
anatomy,
make it
perspective,
bigger.
and shading. If you want to draw simple hands rather than learn a simple process to draw real hands, I will have a lesson on drawing cartoon hands.
My tummy is
But
getting
all the
hurty
stuff
actually.
ties together, so let's get started.
Let's go!
The idea.
I have
First
animals.
step is
Yeah,
to get
but you
a
have
clear
hooves.
idea of the hand you're gonna draw. Don't jump in blindly and start drawing.
Ironically, I know how to draw furry hands. You should teach me sometime. You should give me references for how to like draw furry hands or like paws and shit. Not that. Yeah, you can like send me references in the Discord because that would be really great. I also need references for furry shit. I actually like got a book for like drawing anime furries and stuff. It's really helpful actually. It helped me with like trying to paint because I was like painting me and stuff. I was painting my snout. So there's like this reference for goats there, and it helped me be able to form a snout better in a way. Okay. But let's continue watching
Figure out
the video.
the angle you're looking at the hand from. Can we see the back of the hand or the palm? How much of the front are we seeing? Or are we looking at it from the back? What is each finger and thumb doing? What about the wrist?
You know how to do
Imagine
muscles.
this
Yes,
clearly
please
in your
teach me.
mind before you make a mark. And you always have your own hand that you can use to figure it out.
Yeah.
And
Use
don't draw
references as
boring
much as
hands.
possible.
Push the gesture, push the story of the pose.
Sheesh!
If the action is the fingers spreading, think about what happens when you spread them farther.
Okay.
When I try to spread my fingers as far as I can, my wrist flexes a little and my fingers bend back.
And then you can see
That makes the pose a
the
bit more
tendons.
interesting.
I'm not sure if that's the tendons or if
Hands
that's
are extremely expressive.
the
When you're drawing
metacarpals.
hands, you have to be an actor. Just like when you're drawing facial expressions.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta feel the expression of the hand pose you're drawing.
You gotta
That said,
exaggerate.
it's still important to be able to draw the forms correctly after you have a clear idea. Once the idea is clear, we'll start constructing the hands using simple forms. I'm gonna say it a lot in this lesson. It's important to step back and think about the simple forms. The complicated collection of bone, muscle, tendon, fat, and skin of the palm becomes a simple box.
Just box.
The wrist is a narrower box, which bends at the carpals.
Okay.
The fingers become
Then
cylinders or boxes.
You get a
With the
nice
hands simplified like this, it becomes
extension
much
here.
more manageable to pose,
Oh,
add
sheesh.
anatomy, and to shape.
Oh my god, I'm actually not sure if we should like,
I
because
mentioned
I did write on like my plan here. We're gonna be speed drawing hands and we're gonna be doing hands from imagination. Do you guys want me to render hands? Like paint over our sketches? Because we can also try doing that just so we can have like a clear image of the forms and the mass of the hands. How I have to do that with like buildings? I never knew I could use this for hands too. Ah yes, buildings. That's one thing I fucking suck at. Maybe next time we will be like able to draw. We would be able to like focus on trying to draw for backgrounds.
in that the palm areas can be simplified to a box form
Okay,
with equal height and width.
I'm good at
That's a
that.
good place
Teach
to start.
me.
But if you want to be a little more precise, it's good to start thinking about the nuances.
Nuances.
Notice that the bones on the pinky side are slightly shorter.
Yeah.
So we should curve that front plane.
Okay.
The middle
okay.
finger area should be the longest. Later on, we'll add
have
the
a visual
muscular
fun. Yes,
teardrops
please
on
send it
both
over.
sides. For now, let's
need
ignore the
it.
muscle masses.
I'm gonna
and
add it
just
to my
treat the palm
playlist.
as a simple concave box.
Okay, it's a simple
So we're
concave
looking at the box from the top. We can see the right side and the front plane of the knuckle.
And let me like draw that. Wait. Fix it. Let's put this at the side for now. There we go. So we gotta draw a concave box. Oh, fuckles. So have this, and then so it peaks here. Wait, goes like that. Peaks here where the middle finger should be. Then there. Oh wait. Shape should be like. Alright.
This is the sort of thing you need to figure out early on in the drawing. The proportions and perspective of all the simple forms. This applies no matter what you're drawing. Until you've figured out all the basic stuff, you shouldn't be drawing any details. It will be harder to notice and correct mistakes once you have details like fingernails, creases, and shadows crowding the drawing. Not to mention all your wasted time and effort. Let's rewind.
We're gonna rewind.
Before we add the fingers, let's split that front plane into 4 parts.
Okay.
That way we know where each finger extrudes from. And don't forget about that foreshortening. If you can do that, you have a really good starting point and you're on your way to drawing an awesome hand.
The fingers, not the fingers, bitch.
At this point, you can start extruding all the finger segments, but it helps me to start with some kind of gestural or wireframe guideline. I'm gonna give you 3 options that you can choose from. Everyone has their preferences, and different poses might call for different approaches. If the fingers are grouped together, you can try to imagine a mitten shape for all of them. If one or more of the fingers is separate from the group, draw it separate. Group the ones that you can.
What if I wanted to do
decide
like a
if
fancy hand like this?
Another way is to throw down some lines and dots for the knuckles. This can help figure out the position and length of each segment with minimal lines that are easy to adjust. The third option is to draw the
She's
gesture
doing like
of
the
each
sleigh.
finger. Don't worry about separating each phalanx. Ignore the joints and just identify the motion of each finger. Do this very lightly. As I said, different poses will call for different approaches
Okay.
or combinations of them. And everyone has their preferences, so try them out, see what you like. A good tip is to start with the pinky and index finger. It's easy to figure out the middle 2 once you got the pinky and index. They're either distributed evenly between or grouped in some way.
The pinky and the index?
I like to look for ways to group some fingers together, unless the expression is stronger without grouping, like in this case. Which fingers to group together? That's up to you. Whatever results in the best expression. All right, now let's add some structure to the fingers. Usually, I like to use cylinders for each segment. Cylinders because they're easier and quicker than boxes. And it's pretty easy to turn a cylinder into a box later, if I want to indicate the rotation of that cylinder. An indication of the box at the joint is enough. There's 12 segments in the fingers, and that doesn't even include the thumb. That's a lot of cylinders and boxes to think about. It's tempting to rush through them, but fight the feeling of urgency. Get them in the right spot with the right proportions and perspective. As you're working and correcting your mistakes, you might notice that your lines are getting darker and darker and darker. This makes it harder to work on details later. Do your best to keep your lines light and clean throughout the construction process.
Man, that's gonna be hard.
Don't scribble and create a mess. Think through the drawing. The thumb. In the hand bones lesson, we learned about that triangular box for the base of the thumb. This triangular box can be stretched, squished, and rotated depending on the position of
There
the
we go.
thumb's
Put the webbing
metacarpal.
here.
Look at your thumb and see all the different ways it can move. Sometimes I imagine the metacarpal bone to make sure its position is believable and the length relates correctly with the others. The gap between the thumb and the palm is filled with muscle and skin in a triangular shape, thus the triangular box. Or just a long gesture through the bones and then an indication of the skin between the knuckles. Up to you. From that triangular box, extend a cylinder for the first phalanx, and then a triangular scooped wedge shape for the end of the thumb. Kinda like a trowel. And from profile, remember it will look like a dog head. The wrist. On the surface, the wrist curves to fill the gap between the palm and forearm. So a good place to start is the 2x4 form of the forearm bones.
The what?
The wrist would be a transitional plane when there's a bend.
Oh, like
Look at
this
Bridgman
part.
for inspiration when designing wrists. Here's a few different poses so you can see
Damn,
how
those
the
are
wrist
like really
behaves.
nice.
Notice how he puts a little step down from the forearm to the hand.
Yeah, like this
It's
one.
a nice design that can make your drawings more interesting and dynamic. Instead of putting the hand and forearm on the same level, put the hand lower than the forearm. That step gives a nice flow through the wrist. At this point, we have the hand posed. From here, we just develop the forms of the muscles.
Yeah, I think
and
we
the
will
details
have to
skin
like
folds, fat, veins,
render.
and tendons.
We'll have to render
If you
the
think
hands.
the process has been kind of meticulous so far, you're right. As you get comfortable with the process, you'll be able to skip some steps or just throw quick indications of the forms instead of
I wish I could
constructing
just
all
do
the
that.
meticulous boxes.
Like just
Thing
do
is,
gestures
to get
shit.
good enough to do that,
You have to
you
like
have to
do the
practice
meticulous
meticulous
things.
way first.
See, you
That
have
gets the
to
forms
have
ingrained
you
in your
have to
head
have
so
nice
that you can draw
foundations,
accurate indications of the
fundamentals before you're able to
Drawing
like easily
quickly
break
and
them
loosely
down.
is a skill developed by drawing slowly and carefully.
But I'm not good
This
at drawing
tutorial is
slowly and
intended for those that are in
carefully.
it for the long haul. The students that are willing to put in the time now to become one of the best. I hope that's you.
I hope that's
The
me too.
muscles. In the first hands lesson, we learned about the three muscular forms
Yeah, the
of
papa
hand.
bear, the mama
Papa
bear, and the baby
mama
bear.
bear, and baby bear.
Like
The papa bear
The
on the thumb
flexor.
side of the palm is the biggest.
yeah,
I always think of it as a drumstick.
that
A
one.
thin, stretched
the one
out
at the
drumstick
end-
if the thumb
at the
is pulling
edge
away
of
from the
the-
palm. A thick, round drumstick when the thumb is squeezed
This
against the palm.
one. Oh wait,
Either way, it's always better
like
with
the
some
muscles here, the flexor here, another one
ranch. Not
here,
that kind of ranch.
and then we have this
Never
one.
mind. The muscles on the pinky side are also a teardrop, but they're mostly covered with a thick layer of fat on the palm. I
Okay.
include the fat and draw the form as a convex box. When the pinky is flexing or abducting, the crease between the fat and muscle appears. I'll show the corner of the fat pad and the round form of the muscle belly. If the pinky was relaxed, I would round out this edge.
Okay.
When the thumb is squeezed in, these two forms are separated by a crease. Otherwise, don't force a crease in there. Remember the hand butts.
For the
So
speed
in this
drawing,
pose, since the pinky is
Should we
abducting
render that
away
or
from the
not?
others, I would see a crease here between the fat and muscle.
okay. I'm like
Shading
looking at my
and
own hand if I
details.
have that.
At this point, I like shading in the primary forms. I pick a light direction, which I feel works best with the pose. To watch me shade and invent all details for these hands, check out the Premium Anatomy course. There's so
I don't
much
have
to
money
learn
for
about
that,
human
Proko. I'm
anatomy,
so sorry.
And if you're ready to dive in, go to proko.com/anatomy. Drawing from imagination is good paired with drawing from life. If you're drawing from imagination and you're really struggling with a certain pose,
Look for
take a
reference.
picture of your own hand in that pose and study
Yeah.
it. When
Yeah.
you study from life,
References are
you
fucking
learn more
important.
about how the hand works and how the shapes look in various poses.
Mm-hmm.
You can use that knowledge to improve your work from imagination. So let's do it. Your assignment is to follow this process and draw 5 hands from imagination. Post
We're
them
gonna be
in
doing
the
that. That's
anatomy
the
group,
last part of our stream.
proko.com/groups, and I might critique your drawings in the next critique video.
Okay, okay.
By the way, I just published a new hands reference pack.
Okay. So we're gonna move on to our next video. This one is from Sinix Design. So we're done with the fundamentals. Now we're gonna learn how to do them quickly, like how to do the anatomy, how to do all that bullshit quickly, especially if the hands are not the focal point of the illustration. Okay, so let's go watch Sinix
Hey everyone,
first.
Sinix here. It's time for more anatomy quick tips. Today I'm going to be going over hands.
I'm gonna make
the
it
feet
this
of the arms.
higher.
This one will
I'm
be
bigger.
a little different than the rest.
So we can all
hands are
watch.
incredibly versatile, so I am going to try to give more actual quick tips during this video. It's also a good time to remind everyone that this video series focuses on skills that will help you be able to render believable anatomy from imagination. There are certainly plenty of other resources around the net that go far more in-depth on life drawing and reference anatomy stuff, but I like to share my own personal thoughts and notes when it comes to rendering that stuff without reference. Anyway, let's get into it. I'm going to start by going over the basic structure of things.
Here we go again,
I don't know if you've
besties.
ever taken the time to count, but each hand should have roughly 5 fingers.
We are
I'll make
once
a simple
again
drawing here of both the
looking
front
for
and
the
the back of the
structure.
hand. I have a tendency to stylize the fingers as being a little bit extra narrow, but I'll try to explain more of that later. Just don't panic too much. Like I said, every drawing
welcome
in
to
these
the
videos
stream.
is
We're
from
watching Sinix
imagination,
Design
so it's
right
only
now.
accurate up
Trying
to
to
my
draw
ability. The first thing I want to
hands.
reiterate is my opinion on the importance of angular shapes when drawing organic forms. Aside from the more obvious differences, one important detail to note when drawing a specific side
Right now
of the
we're just
hand
like
is the
watching the
overlap of
videos.
the finger lines with the webbing between them.
We already like finished watching Proko's videos. We're finished with our fundamentals. Now we're learning quick tips from Sinix, and then later we'll be watching Ethan Becker's like take on like how to draw hands faster and shit. He's gonna be breaking down Sinix style of like drawing hands. So basically we're like fundamentals, then making it faster, and then breaking it down even more. Nice to watch this while I work. Yeah, let's go, let's go. I
When
have so
looking
much
at
to
the
learn
palm
about
of the hand,
hands.
the
Wait, let
webbing
me
will
just
flow
say
straight. One important detail to note when drawing a specific
the
side
webbing
of the hand
between
is
the
the overlap of the
phalanges.
finger lines with the webbing between them. When looking at the palm of the hand, the webbing will flow straight into the fingers. On
That's
the
the one that I
opposite
was
side of
talking
the hand,
about.
it's nice to let the finger lines
Wait, let
run
me
past
just
the
say,
silhouette
make
a
this
bit.
smaller.
Hopefully you can see what I mean with this little drawing up here. One other amusing trick for showing the difference between each side of the hands comes from the early days of animation. You may notice that Mickey Mouse and many other classic characters often have gloved hands, and
Yeah.
these gloves often have a few lines down the back
They
side.
have the
These
lines
are meant
of
to
the
evoke idea of
metacarpals.
tendons and offer a quick visual cue
Tendons,
to show which side of the hand
sorry,
you
but
are
they're still
looking
the
at.
same thing.
Personally,
No, not
I
the same
usually just
thing.
use the
Like
fleshiness
where
of
they're
the
supposed to
thumb
be.
show the different sides of the hand in the roughest fashion. It's important to know that the palm side of the hand can be divided
Thank you
up
for the
into two
follow,
main
Darian,
fleshy
Mike,
mounds,
Joe,
the
and
obvious one on
yeah.
the thumb side and a narrower one on the pinky side.
It is
Try
draw
to
hands.
avoid every
Howdy,
drawing the palm
howdy.
as just a flat
Welcome to the
surface,
stream.
and remember to include those little hills and curves.
We have the teardrops
I
of
do have
this.
some more handy structural
teardrops
notes,
of
so
the
let's just
side.
clear up some space and draw another basic hand. It's often overlooked when starting out, but one thing you should always know about the hands is that the fingers naturally fan out slightly. You can make them stick straight out of the palm, but that is not a resting state. This can become increasingly relevant if you ever want to draw a hand that is curled up into a fist or gripping anything. Since the tangents of the
let's make
fingers are
another kind of
naturally
pose.
structurally fanned outward, this means that curling them up will result in them pointing slightly inward toward the center line of the hand. So, if you ever need to curl up a pinky or index finger, just remember that it will always skew toward the center of the palm.
Okay.
Next up, I want to briefly diagram the differences between the more structural and more fleshy areas of the hand. You may also notice again how the tendons fan outward toward the
That was my
primary knuckle
alarm.
of each finger. It should also be considered that the primary joint for the thumb is not the one located off into the side of the webbing, but instead located right up against the wrist. Using this mindset will also help improve your understanding of other mammal anatomy and creature design. You can see how it looks a little more animal-like before you add the more human traits. Anyway, for our human hands, I like to remember that even from the back, you should be able to see a little bit of the soft fleshiness peeking out on the pinky side of the hand. It's also good to note the large amount of fleshy webbing between the thumb and the index finger. If you make a tight fist, all of this flesh doesn't simply vanish from existence, but instead forms a bit of a compacted lump on the thumb side of the back of the hand. This all sounds very convoluted and confusing to describe, so hopefully you can just look at the drawings here on the page and understand what I'm talking about. You can see that compacted fleshy lump on the far right there, circled in green with a little fleshy label. Alright, that's it for the structure stuff I wanted to mention, so let's simplify ourselves into the land of reductions. I already mentioned the diamond knuckles and the Mickey Mouse gloves, so I'm not going to go over those again, but I am going to dive into the digital world of fingers. So
Not
there
the
are two main
fingers!
philosophies I like to associate with stylizing
I fucking hate drawing
We have
fingers.
tapers and we have frogs.
Tapers and
Tapers
frogs?
are what you will see me personally using in most of my own drawings.
Okay.
I approach every single finger like a slightly tapering box. There's no real trick to it, I just enjoy the way it looks. Each finger is just a long narrow box getting smaller as you go farther out. It seems to work well enough and certainly fits my taste for using angles in organic drawing. The second style I will mention is the frog style, and I just call it that because the fingertips and joints are slightly exaggerated to be extra large and round. You know, it kind of looks like
the
a
frog
frog or
style is the one I like.
Anyway, I'm not the best at this style, but I definitely see a lot
Like,
of good
it's
artists
hard
use it
to,
really
like,
well.
utilize
My
it.
examples here aren't the best, but they both have merits, and I hope this whole thing doesn't send you into some phalangeal crisis. Just remember, the
Not the
answer for
phalangeal
you might be
crisis.
something in between the two, or something completely different altogether. I just
the
wanted to give you a
webbings.
couple style ideas to play around with. Let's move on to some hyper reductions. When it comes to doing quick gestures of hands or impressionistic thumbnails, I find it best to think about the hands in terms of triangles. Everything is triangles. It doesn't matter where the triangles are or how they're used. Don't
This is the
focus
one
on
that
every
Ethan
section
Baker
of
will
the
be
hand
breaking
being
down
represented
later.
by the same triangle every time. Instead, just try to be a bit abstract and energetic. Be like Phil Jackson. Just trust in the triangle and everything will work out. If your gesture hands don't look like children's origami, then you're putting in too much thought and effort. Alright, it's finally time to move on to the actual quick tips for drawing hands. They're more like fingertips, actually. Tip 1 is about spacing. I think some people might find this slightly questionable, but
This is actually a nice
space out
hand.
the
I like this
fingers
one.
as much as possible. It's a common mistake for beginning artists to group the fingers too closely together with no gap between them. It will feel cramped and the fingers will be devoid of any emotional quality. When they're spaced far apart, it allows for a much stronger sense of balance and emotion. I'm going completely overboard with it, so I'll try to dial it back a bit to show some slightly more realistic examples. The occasional gap here and there can add an incredible amount of personality to your hands. Drawing hands has gotten a bad rap, but once you appreciate their emotive qualities, I think you will find yourself enjoying them a lot more. Tip number 2 is going to be flow. Whenever possible,
Flow.
I like to attempt to have a sense of progressive motion through the fingers. Usually just letting the index finger lead the action and then letting the other fingers follow at a decaying rate. This is why, even though the index finger is shorter than the middle finger, I love to represent it as being slightly longer in a lot of situations. That's certainly another questionable decision, but I like it. Anyway, there is definitely a natural reason for this flow
is
of
so
fingers.
nice.
Both the webbing between the fingers and the tendons themselves tend to
His
create
his
a
the
natural
way he
pull on
draws
surrounding
hands is just
fingers.
like
You should
so
avoid drawing hands
gestural.
that have both fully extended and fully curled fingers.
It's so aesthetically
positioned right next to
pleasing.
each
Like, it
other.
doesn't have to
It's
be
just
like
extremely
really
unappealing, and you can't
that
really see the
anatomically correct,
tension
but
being
it's
caused
so
by the
good.
surrounding fingers. I guess that's about it for flow. I hope it's a little bit self-explanatory.
Oh, that's what I was
Just try to
missing
think
here.
of the fingers like a bird wing or something if you're struggling. If that makes any sense, I hope it does. Alright, tip number 3 is all about them West Coast hands. I don't know how many of you follow the popular fandoms, but middle finger and ring finger are definitely a thing. It's my ship. When casually posing the hands, you may find that they like to move together and cling together a bit more naturally than any of the other fingers. It may just be personal preference, but I also just think it looks really good to stick them together. No matter what the pose may be, you can add a little bit of personality by bringing those central fingers together. You might be noticing that a lot of stylistic choices are grounded in the exaggeration of often ignored features of realism. Pulling the ring finger and middle finger close together helps add emphasis to the fanning out of the pinky and index fingers that I talked about earlier when I was going over structure. I always like to find the hidden meanings in all of these appealing style choices. Tip number 4 is our last tip of the day, and this one is all about the pinky. Pinkies can be pretty useless overall, and like a lot of useless things, they compensate for this by being extra flashy. Pinkies are just too cool to hang out with the rest of the fingers, so if anyone is going to break the flow of the fingers and make it work, it's going to be the pinky. It can be super subtle or as extreme as a dried up creek, but it's always something to consider when drawing expressive hands. I find it works best on characters that have a very twisted or tense personality, maybe a bit eccentric, either that or British men drinking tea.
Not British men
that's
drinking
going to do
tea.
it for the tips. I'm going to just have a bit of fun now and try to render out some various hands from off the top of my head. I will do my best to get a nice variety of poses and angles. I don't have any extreme foreshortening going on with any of these hands, but I'll try to at least move some of the fingers toward and away from
This one's
camera.
fucked up.
Making really good fingers going toward camera or having extreme foreshortening could probably be an entire video on its own. This hand on the right over here has a silly long thumb, and I briefly considered fixing it, but it started growing on me. I think that's about it for the drawing, so when it comes to adding color, I'm sticking with my most recent adaptation and changing the line color to something very saturated. This just helps prevent things from getting dirty looking when the pixels start getting smushed around by all of these painter brushes.
Let's try to
It also seems to have just sped up my painting process
render
a
with
lot.
him.
Anyway, the next step is background and base colors. As with every Anatomy Quick Tips video, I'm putting the warm skin tones against the cool and desaturated background color to make them pop a little better. I didn't use a huge variety of skin tones for these because I was feeling a bit lazy with the painting process. I've been in a very sketch-heavy mood the past week, so I'm going to just cheat my way through a lot of this rendering process as much as I can. It's mostly the same standard stuff, using the dry brush and painter to cut hard edges on one side of a form and blend it out in the other direction. In the most basic form, I like to gradient the hands to get somewhat more red as they go out toward the edges of the fingers. To be more refined, it's important that you make the last joint of each finger have a much deeper red tone. Aside from that, let's see, the palm side of the hand is usually a lighter pinkish tone compared to the rest of the hand. And of course the knuckles and other joints where the bones are pressed into the skin can be shown with lighter values.
I know it's
but
like,
be aware that they might also be surrounded by more reddish colors
a faster
if the area
time
faces
lapse,
a lot of wear and tear.
but you know.
Halfway through, I decided
Promoted
to
your
lower
stream
the
to my
overall
office mates.
saturation on everything a bit.
Ah,
This will allow me to place in
Oh, no.
highlights and other areas with more deliberate
gosh.
saturation. And speaking of highlights, since
Now
I
I feel
already
pressured.
mentioned my
But thank you so much for
laziness,
promoting
I'm going
it.
to just use strong lighting effects as a shortcut for making things look finished. It's a great trick. This top one is going to have some direct overexposed light cast across it. But for the right one, I think I will place the light behind the hand and just use the rim lighting effects to make it
render
pretty.
it, but I'll try
A
my
red
best.
glow will also be enough to simulate some subsurface scattering when used on specific parts, the fingertips and thinner areas especially. Now that hand on the bottom right was looking kind of bland, so I did put in a bit more effort on that. I had ignored the webbing between the thumb and index finger completely, so that needed a lot of work. I don't think I actually executed it ideally, but it's definitely an improvement.
It's okay, Sinix.
I'll have to
Whatever
do some
you're doing,
reference
it's so much
studies of
better than what
hands
I'm
sometime
doing.
if I want to really build up my visual library for these details properly. Anyway, more overly exposed bright light and rim lighting on some of these other hands, and I'm pretty much ready to call this painting done for now. Just remember to put a line of hard saturation between any direct lighting area and the rest of the skin. That's a detail you don't want to miss. It will sell
I'm just
the
as
lighting a lot
confused
more.
as you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the painting and the whole video for that
It's
matter.
so fast.
We're coming to the close, and the only thing left to do is tag on some little animation here at the end. So here you go.
I want to like finish this one. Like, I want to finish this rendering.
Amazing, I know.
After we do
Actually, I
like
don't know. I'm recording this audio before I got a chance to make the animation. Well, I'm sure it was just the greatest thing ever. Okay, I want to give a big thank you to everyone for watching this video. And
thank you so much, Sinix.
Thank you to all of my wonderful patrons.
Okay, now we're going to one of my like favorite one of my favorite art YouTubers. His style, I don't think his style is for everybody, but it's really entertaining and it's helped me learn a lot better. So we're gonna be watching Ethan Baker. If you don't know Ethan Baker, he makes like a lot of videos that's supposed to look like he's shading on other artists on how to draw, but he's basically just like breaking down their tips and shit. Yes, Ethan Baker. Oh my god. Baker, ay Baker ba? Ano ba? Wait, I'm gonna check. Baker pala, tangina, Baker ako ng Baker. I'm so sorry. I fucked it up. But yeah, it's so entertaining to watch his videos. And like, it's the kind of shit that I like. It's like playfully playfully scolding you. That's the kind of shit I like. I forgot. It's Becker. I'm so sorry. It's Ethan Becker. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's watch it.
I got some bad news for you. You flew too close to the sun. You got too cocky. You thought you were so big. You thought you were so tough. And you're thinking that you can get away with it. You're thinking that you can cross me.
He has so much gremlin energy for real.
Why, Sinix? Why do you insult my dog? Ask him. You insult me? You insult my dog? We've had enough. First of all, you're off to a bad start already, alright? But I can let that slide, Sinix.
It's just like easier to understand
what you're doing to
concepts when he's trying to teach it to you.
The people that watch your videos is wrong. When you look at me, don't look at me. Don't you ever look at me when I say not to. Look at me. I'm gonna say it slow. I'm gonna say it soft.
Just gonna make these smaller.
Do art good. You don't know hands good. All right, and we're gonna break that down today, people. All right, come on, let's go. All right, this is what we're gonna be going over today. Sinix has made his hands right here, but I'm gonna be showing you that what he's saying, you don't have to do. His model of thought is that you just gotta draw a lot of hands. You gotta just do all these different, look at all these angles that this guy's doing. The main lesson that all of this is gonna revolve around, do not think, don't you think for a second, that you have to draw hands from every freaking angle. What you're saying is, I wanna learn how to draw hands. But then what you need to realize is, you need to draw hand. What do I mean by that? Whenever I first started drawing hands, I thought, oh my god, there's just so many ways to do it. And here's the problem, I wasn't thinking simply.
He's trying to help us how to make things simple. Okay, so like, because the way Proko did it, I would say it's still in the process of it was more traditional still. Like yeah, it is valuable to like look through the fundamentals, have an idea of like where the bones should be, the proportions and shit, how they relate to each other. But it's still so convoluted in a way. So it's like, yeah, like I know you have to be patient and you need to go through all this, but also, it's not what do you call this? It's not that it's not productive. It like instead, because we went through the bones, we went through the muscles. It makes you self-conscious of how you draw hands. Like, I know it's supposed to help you be able to break down things, but it also makes you self-conscious of how you draw hands, which, at least for me, that's how it goes, which makes it harder for me to, like, make gestural kind of things, like gestural lines and shit, because I keep thinking, I keep thinking that it should be breaking down. Oh, wait, BRB. Oh my god, okay. Sadly, I have to cut this stream short. I hate it here. Anyway, I have to cut the stream short. I will try to like... yeah, I have to cut the stream short because I have to go somewhere. I have to run errands suddenly. I hate it here. But yeah, I will continue this stream soon. Probably within the week. We'll see. Or like later tonight or on Tuesday night. We'll see. Because I really wanted to do the stream, but people keep like... ay nako. Anyway, thank you so much everyone for joining me in the stream, even though I was even able to get to the really fun parts of the stream. So yeah, we're gonna be having a part 2 maybe within the week. Thank you so much everyone. I'm really sorry. I have to go. Anyway, if you haven't followed my socials, here they are. If you haven't checked my cover, here it is. Check my cover of Study Me by Zutomaya. Thank you so much. And I'll be seeing you again tomorrow or later. We'll see. Bye bye everyone. I'm really sorry. Bye.